Hey there, welcome. It's Karen Lanoux from No Limits Businesswoman. And I'm really glad you're here today because we're going to talk about how to eliminate the BS that you aren't good enough, because it's total BS. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit different. But here's what I know: when we get into that feeling that we're not good enough, it's just because at some point somebody told you that. Somebody told you or indicated that you weren't good enough. And when people are doing that, you have to kind of go back in time and look at, what is that all about? Who is telling me this? So, likely when we're younger, it was a person, it was a family member, a parent, grandparent, sisters, brothers. It could be then also somebody, as you went in through your life, could be a partner who told you weren't good enough, and or again was just putting you down all the time. Could be friends, excuse me. And nothing can be further from the truth. No matter what, you are good enough all the time. You're perfect as you are. Now, I remember in my own situation, so in my first marriage, what had happened is the person I was with, for whatever reason, I think it was probably just to keep me down in order to keep me with him, right? And so there was all kinds of indications that I was too fat. I was, couldn't do this, couldn't do that, and it was not good. It really took a hard hit on my self-esteem. But what I always thought is that, in fact, it wasn't that I must have really high self-esteem, because I could take it and still carry on. But here's the person that I love the most and who was supposed to love me the most, was tearing me down on an ongoing basis. And it took a long time to get over that. But there was a point where I realized that's just BS. I'm leaving. I can't do this anymore. And so whether, again, it's somebody, again, that you've been married to, or a partner, or again, a family member, or at your work, right? You have to look at what is the motivation for that person to do that. Maybe they just didn't know any better. Maybe that's what happened to them. Maybe that's part of what is, they learned because they thought, okay, that's going to make you tough, right? Again, in my instance, I'm certain that the reason that he did this, my ex did this, is that was in order to keep me small, in order to keep me staying with him. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is it doesn't work, right? But the longer that we stay, then the longer we stay in these situations, and the longer we believe that, the harder it is actually to go and step out and listen to our soul and listen to that inspiration. But here's the thing: it's that inspiration, it's the feelings that we have inside that are guiding us to say, yeah, go do this. This is really those things that just make you kind of get really excited about doing it. So whether it's your business or taking a new step in your career, that's inspiration, right? That's, for some people, that's God, right? That's to me, it's an infinite intelligence. It's the universe. It's your higher self that's saying, no, there's something else. And here's the thing also with this, is that you could not connect in with that idea, with that belief, with that inspiration, if it wasn't meant for you, if there wasn't something in you that could connect with it. Again, vibrationally, we can't connect with something that isn't a match to us, period, right? It's just the same thing as radio stations. You can't tune in to 99.5 if you're on 103.6. You just can't. So if you're tuning into something, if you have an inspiration to do something, then the means one, you're good enough to begin with, right? To get that information. It's meant for you. And so you might not have the skills right now, but so what? You can learn that. And again, that inspiration is saying, hey, yeah, go this way. Go this way. And, years ago, I read a book by Neil Donald Walsh called Conversations with God. And look, I'm not a religious person, but I thought it was an interesting book, and there was all kind of the rage way back. And I started, it was one of the most profound books that I ever read. And in the book, one of the things he talks about is that inspiration, and Wayne Dyer talks about this. I think Deepak Chopra talks about this as well. But in this, it was basically saying, in the conversations with God, basically he was saying that in order for God to know himself, to be able to expand and to expand the universe, basically, what he needs. He can't do it. He's doing it through you, which means any inspiration, any idea that you have that you want to work on, that you want to expand your business, and or your career, you could not do that. You could not have that inspiration if it wasn't meant for you. It's basically God coming through you saying, hey, come do this for me so I can expand my world, right? I'm expanding again this world. I'm expanding this universe. So it's up to you, right? Now look, you missed that idea, there's going to be others, right? So, but the whole idea about you not being good enough is total BS. Total 100% BS. It's not true. It's never true, never was true. Are we not good enough sometimes at things that we need to do in order to, just developing skills? Absolutely. But as a person, 100%, you are good enough to have what you want. You are good enough to go after the inspirations, those ideas, those things that you want to do. You're 100% good enough. So I'd recommend, I would recommend the book, obviously, Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. It is amazing. And again, to me, when I finally heard this, because people, I used to hear people would say, oh, well, you're good enough, you're always good enough, and you're worthy, right? And I was like, I didn't get that. It's like, okay, I didn't really get that concept until I started to read this book. So again, just thinking about this vibrationally. You cannot get an idea. You cannot get inspiration to do something or a desire to do something without that coming from a higher source. Again, higher self, God, the universe, infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call that. You cannot get that, which means, again, right there, bing, you're more than good enough. So I'm going to leave that with you today. Also, actually, I'll talk about Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer also used to say, desire comes from the word of God, of the sire, of God. And so, again, and to me, that's consciousness. That's your higher consciousness. So it is yours. It belongs to you. So the thing that you want the most, the things that you desire the most, you are more than good enough. You are more than worthy enough right now. Are there things you might need to learn? Yeah. In order to access that? Yeah. To open up to it? Sure. But you can do this. So if you are around people right now who are not supporting you, then find people to support you. There are plenty of people out there. So come to the group, come to the No Limits Businesswoman group, get that inspiration, get support, connect, post in the group and say, hey, yeah, I need some help. I don't know what to do here. We have had some people do that. It's a group now of over 1,200 women. So it's there for you. People are there. There's women, especially women support other women. So find people. If you don't have that support right now, find other people. There are all kinds of groups probably in your city or your town right now of women who are supporting other women. I know there's the idea for a lot of women that women just tear each other down. And yes, that exists because they don't know enough yet. They're not feeling good enough in themselves. But there are plenty of women out there who will support you. I will support you. Come into the group. It's a free group. Come and join us. And, again, I want you to know that right now you are worthy and you are good enough, and anything that says anything different is BS. All right. Have a wonderful day. Go out and live a no limits life. Take care.